Hi, friends. Hi. I see Henny and Lauren. Hi. Hi, you guys. It's good to have you here. I have missed you, but I know it's not been working out well for you because I've been coming on late this week. Today's Friday. Husband will be back to work next week. So, yeah, things will be a little more back to normal for our summer hours anyway. Hi, everybody. Hey, Patricia. Hey. All right. Let me, hold on. I did this last night and I enjoyed it. Hold on. I'm going to put this, turn this music on. I like this music in the background. We missed you, Lauren. We missed you. I hope you've had a good week, though. Coffee. All right. You guys want to talk about Stephan Sterns again today? You want to talk about Stephan Sterns again today? See if you guys want to talk about Stephan Sterns, because we're talking about Stephan Sterns again today. Hey, Morgana. Happy birthday, hubby. Tell him happy birthday. You shouldn't be in the chat. Where are you going to celebrate? Don't tell me you're going to that Chick-fil-A chick spot. Chick-fil-A chick. I know it's not Chick-fil-A chick, but I can't never remember what it's called. Chick salad chick or something. Chicken salad chick or something like that, right? I'm still eager to go there. It's your mom's birthday too. Oh, happy birthday, Mom. Wow. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. We're going to get started. If you're coming in, please hit that thumbs up button on your way in the door. We would appreciate it very, very much. You guys coming in, if you have not watched the Biddy Porter case that I shared the other day, I would love and appreciate you for going to watch it and spreading awareness about her story. Because her family is really looking for justice. And her story, the story of Biddy Porter, she was in Australia. Their family's in Australia. And but there's ways that we can help here from the States. Her attorney and I guess counsel, whatever, I'm not really sure, are trying to get some laws changed. So we would love your help. Let me see if I can go. Sorry about that. Let me go over here and get the link for you guys. Copy, and let me drop that. There you go. It's in the chat. Please. I know a lot of you have already watched. Runny nose. If you guys coming in have not seen that yet, would love for you to go watch that and give some support. We're going to be talking about that more in the coming days, weeks. Yes. Also, side note, I just saw that Harvey Weinstein has a new trial date. Did I see? I think they said November. I could be wrong about that. Not positive. Um, Also, the Indiana Supreme Court apparently again denied the motion for the judge's recusal in Delphi. I don't know why Judge Gold just won't step down and say, fine, nobody wants me on it, I won't be on it. Bye. But she won't do that. So yesterday, getting into Stephan Sterns. We talked about Stephan Sterns yesterday. We talked about his emails to his parents. The one email that specifically he received from his mom, who basically pointed the finger at Jen and said that he's like covering for her, kind of, sort of, maybe, allegedly. Yay. He said, thank you very much. Yay. Patricia says, I'm interested to learn more about this case because I don't know hardly anything. Just a couple things my mom told me in the replay of Crime Cafe from yesterday. Okay, well, we're going to do this update today. We're going to do this update today, and then starting next week is the Black Swan trial, and I think they said that it's expected to last like 1 to 2 weeks. So in between and maybe afterwards, we're going to do like a deep dive. We're going to, because everybody yesterday said yes, they wanted to sort of start back from the beginning. Watch the interviews, watch the body cam footage, watch the behavior analysis from the behavior panel guys on YouTube. So there's a lot of cool things coming up. Yeah, I want to get into that. I know that your mom is really interested in it, Patricia, too. She has a lot of opinions about that story. Strong opinions. And I'm right there with her. So. All right. So, yesterday we had talked about, like I said, the different things. We talked about the second car. You have a car, Lauren? She said, I have news. I have a car now. Yay. Yay. That's exciting. What kind of car did you get? And did you drive it to your mom's? I think you're with your mom. Did you drive there? Congratulations. You guys put some like yays and hearts and happy celebratory things in the chat for Lauren. A car. I've never heard of the brand or the make and model. A Renault Twingo. Congratulations, though. Yay. Yes, I did, Jenny. Going home on Monday. Yay. I bet it feels much different being able to drive yourself there and back, huh? Gives you a lot more freedom to go and do what you want to do when you want to go and do it, right? Especially spend the weekends with mom. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. It's a small car, but for a first car, it's fine. Well, there you go. I mean, you know, you don't need a big car. You don't need a big car. Not yet, anyway. All right. Let's get into this. So, hold on a minute. I'm going to share this. We're going to talk about his movements. I found this article. This is it. All right. I found this article. And it's pretty, detailed. But I also have, a Vinnie Politan video, because he's been doing a lot of coverage on Stephan Sterns and Madeline Soto here lately. He's been staying right on that. But here says documents shed new light on suspects' movements the day Madeline Soto disappeared. Okay. Stephan Sterns is facing the death penalty if convicted. True story. I'm just going to drop this article in the chat here. In case you guys want to save it. Why did it not go? YouTube rejected my comment. It's my dang on channel, StreamYard, YouTube. Let me post the link. It won't let me share the link. Rawr. Okay. Well, you can go to clickorlando.com and use their search function to find anything and everything regarding Madeline Soto. Okay. Lauren says, sometimes I'm a little bit scared still, but I can drive. And the people that I had already next to me in the car said that I drive good. Well, there you go. It is nerve-wracking when you first start driving by yourself. You're like, oh my God, you get in the car and you're by yourself driving and you're like, oh, this feels really weird, but it doesn't take long at all before that the nerves wear off. But also, nerves are a good thing when you're driving because it keeps you alert, right? It's a very big responsibility to drive a vehicle. So there you go. All right. Let me get this back. Okay. I'm going to see what this little video clip here says, though. Hold on.
Profile case surrounding the man accused of killing a 13-year-old girl named Madeline Soto. Stephan Sterns is facing the death penalty and is pleading not guilty. He had 2 pretrial hearings today. News 6's Laverne McGee has details.
I was here for the afternoon hearing at the Osceola County Courthouse, where Sterns' attorney would not comment on camera. She did give me her card. I rode down the elevator with her. She said that this case is extensive. There were 2 pretrial hearings.
So I didn't catch those pretrial hearings, but they were supposed to have had his trial set and scheduled for October 14th. But apparently now they've changed it. They've kept the date, but instead of the trial start date, apparently it's going to be a hearing, like a status hearing or something. So apparently they're pushing the trial out because I think it was the defense that said they needed more time to get things ready, but I'm not positive.
hearings today. The first one continued into the second hearing this afternoon because the defense said they needed more time.
I'd like to set the matter for October 14th, which is a Monday at 9 o'clock, please. By that date, I'll ask the parties to please coordinate with each other.
Sterns was not in court today because he waived his right to appear.
Does it sound like somebody else we know? Remember who else kept waiving their right to appear for the whole trial? Do you guys remember who that was? Does that not sound familiar? Another monster that we know. You guys can tell me in the chat if you know who I'm talking about. You guys remember? Another monster. Yeah. Yep. Adam Montgomery.
He's pleaded not guilty in the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, his girlfriend's daughter.
My daughter was dropped off.
Soto was 13 years old when she was reported missing by her mother on February 26th. She was found dead on March 1st by deputies searching a wooded area off Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County.
So I hope that your mom pops in the chat soon, Patricia. We're summoning Miss King. Anyway, I need to do a little bit of digging because I thought that I remembered when this story first broke and they found Madeline's body. I thought that they said she was found in a bamboo thicket behind a house. And they had specifically talked about how, I guess at some point, Stephan had or Gen 1 had tried their hand at real estate. And they knew that this house was abandoned. And so that's why they dumped her there. But according to this, and another thing that I'm going to show you here in a little bit, it was like he just dumped her off the side of the road, but not specifically behind any house, abandoned house. So I have no idea. I want to look into that. Because they're kind of the way Vinny and some of the people on his panels have been talking is they think potentially he got the flat tire, and when he got the flat tire, he pulled over to fix the tire, but it was broad daylight, and here he has Madeline in the trunk of the car, and he's like, well, this is just as good a place as any to discard her, And but there's from the road. Hey, Miss King, there you are. Yes. Do you remember, Miss King? I don't know if you heard any of that. Do you remember early on them saying that Stephan had dumped Madeline's body off in the wood line behind some abandoned house, and that they thought that he may have known about that house because him or Gen 1 had tried their hand at working in real estate at one point? Does any of that sound familiar to you? Speaking of the devil, right? Does any of that sound familiar, Miss King? Because I swear that I remembered hearing that. But they're saying that she was just dumped in a bamboo thicket across some barbed wire fence next to a highway. They haven't mentioned any house. You didn't hear that? I swear. I heard that early. Yeah, I know I heard that. And I remember even seeing the house that they were talking about. I don't know. I'll have to find that because I'm telling you, I remember hearing that. Okay.
Police believe that Sterns murdered the 13-year-old girl at her Kissimmee apartment. Investigators say surveillance video shows Sterns leaving the apartment with her body and then driving to the St. Cloud area where she was later found. Sterns also faces dozens more charges stemming from what investigators say are disturbing pictures and video found on his phone depicting sexual abuse of a child.
Instead of it being on a pretrial docket, that it go onto a status docket.
Both the murder charge and the matter involving
That's where they're talking about delaying things here.
the videos and photos of sexual abuse will be addressed at the next court date of Monday, October 14th at 9 a.m.
So, the trial isn't going to be in October. It's just going to be another hearing. Here it says hundreds of pages of newly released Miss King says, but I did think I heard they thought he moved her. Oh, you have a wonderful daughter that told you that I was live. Oh, thank you, Patricia. I actually told Miss Patricia, I said, where's your mama? I have a question. Hey, Kel, good to see you. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling? I hope you're taking it easy still. You're not like cleaning house and doing hard things, right? Hundreds of pages of newly released court documents offer new evidence against Stephan Sterns, including a rough timeline of where Sterns allegedly traveled the day of the teen's disappearance. So we're getting into the movement part here. Sterns faces the death penalty if convicted of murder. Here it says the files released by the state attorney's office include pages and pages of interview summaries with witnesses and people who knew Soto and Sterns, cell phone mapping images, and how investigators used surveillance videos and license plate readers to help track Sterns from leaving the apartment complex in Kissimmee the morning of February 26th to driving to an area of St. Cloud. That's where Soto's body was found days later. Also, Miss King, have you heard that they were, that they had roommates? Have you heard that they had roommates in that apartment they lived in? And also something about the bedroom doors being numbered. I don't know what that's about, but I heard that. This information has to be in some of these documents. Okay. Yes, you said yes. Kel said, you know me so well. When I start doing too much, my body says, hold up. All I know is you can't keep a good woman down, right? I'm wondering about these roommates. Do we know anything about these roommates, Miss King? How many? Who were they? Do they have any information? You know that if these roommates exist, they have been interviewed, but I haven't heard anything other than they had roommates. That's all I know. Feeling a bit better. Just want my stamina to come back. Taking it easy and doing bookkeeping from home today. Well, the stamina will come back, but you gotta, take it slow. Take it slow. Jennifer Soto, the teen's mother and Sterns' girlfriend, originally wrote in a sworn statement that she observed, this was a lie, she observed her daughter getting ready for school around 8 a.m. on February 26th, the day Maddie was reported missing. But in a later interview with detectives, Jennifer Soto denied seeing her daughter that morning and instead heard someone in the kitchen who she assumed was Madeline, court records show. Jen Soto told investigators the last time she actually saw her daughter was around 11 p.m. the prior evening when she sent the teen to go to bed with Sterns in an upstairs bedroom of their Kissimmee apartment, according to court records. The mother reportedly said that was a common arrangement when she needed a good night's sleep. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I thought that the seeing her getting dressed was mentioned after. Like, I feel like they got these two bits of information. Because I thought at first she said she heard someone in the kitchen. Assumed it was Maddie. And then later says that she actually saw her getting ready for school around 8 o'clock, which was a lie because they were already gone by 7:30. At 7:35 a.m., see, here we go. 7:35 a.m., surveillance cameras at the Venetian Bay Village Apartments captured video of Stearns discarding something in the trash compactor, which investigators believe was Madeline's backpack and school laptop. The video also showed a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat of Sterns' car, completely slumped over with her mouth ajar. Miss King says she ran an Airbnb there close to Disneyland. Yeah, I knew they were close to Disney. You mean she ran an Airbnb out of her home? Like she rented her home to strange people? Hey, Cherie. Hello, Jenny and everyone in chat. Just diamond painting and doing laundry. Hope everyone is staying cool. It's in the hundreds here and the humidity is just nuts. Stay cool. Drink your water, like QB says. Drink your water. Who knows what crazies that poor girl was subjected to, even other than Sterns. That's a very true statement there. The way I took that statement, Patricia, was like she was like asleep and was woken up by sounds of someone in the kitchen, and she assumed it was Maddie. Which, why would you think that? If you knew that Stephan was there too, why would you say, I think it was Maddie that I heard in the kitchen? I don't know. It's weird. So weird to say to your boyfriend to sleep in the same bed as your daughter because of your anxiety or headache or whatever. Exactly. It's disturbing. Okay. So Miss King says she heard that she ran an Airbnb. That's just weird. That's just weird. I understand having an Airbnb, but not in your house while you're there. That's just weird. So 7:35, that's when the cameras caught Stephan Sterns throwing stuff in the dumpster, which they assume was the backpack and the laptop. The video also shows a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat of his car, completely slumped over with her mouth ajar. So that's at 7:35 a.m. So at this point, we can assume she's either already passed away or passed out, right? I mean, if she's slumped, completely slumped over with her mouth ajar, yeah. And about 15 minutes later, at 7:50, cameras show Stern's car leaving the apartment complex. Okay, at 8:19, so that's what, about half an hour later, it returns and then leaves again at 8:31. So it returns back to the apartment complex a half hour after it leaves. And then is only there for 10 minutes. Each time a body believed to be the teen, sometimes it's hard for me to make out sentences correctly. Each time a body believed to be the teen's can be seen in the car with her head visible, tilted on her left shoulder. Sterns told detectives he dropped Madeline off near Hunters Creek Middle School at 8:40. But around that same time, investigators say license plate reader detected Sterns' car miles away from the school. At 9:40, which is about an hour and 10 minutes from the last time his car was seen leaving the complex, I guess. Cameras at an office building on John Young Parkway captured Stern's vehicle entering the top floor of a parking garage. Okay, so I have video of that. This is cool because there's Danny Politan had on his channel last night a journalist who actually drove through these places and showed everybody the parking garage where Stephan Sterns was at. We see the security cameras where they're positioned. It's a really great video. We're going to watch bits and pieces of it. I'm not going to show the whole thing. We're going to watch bits and parts of it because I want you guys to see these places so we can see all of his movements. And he has her, by the time he leaves with her at 7:35 in the morning until he gets to the place where he eventually places her body, it is like 4 or 5 hours later. And I want to know what he's doing with her the whole I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. Why would you drive around with her for 4 or 5 hours in your car? All right, here's where it talks about the parking garage. It says a man then at 9:40 a.m. And then it says a man then opened the passenger door and proceeded to carry what appeared to be a limp female body to the trunk of the vehicle. Police records show. Using data from license plate readers and surveillance video from nearby buildings, investigators were able to trace Stern's car as it traveled east from Kissimmee towards St. Cloud and Old Hickory Tree Road, court records indicate. That's where investigators later found Maddie's body lying face down between some bamboo trees, and covered in debris. Investigators have also said they found images and videos on Stephan's phone. Blah, blah, blah. We know about that disgusting part. Stephan Sterns has pleaded not guilty. Whatever. All right. Hold on a second. I'm getting a document thing from here. Oh, Lord, QB sent me something. I'll have to take a look at that one. Oh, wait. QB is this the one that was she was a foster mom? You'll have to let me know. I think that's the one that's a foster mom. She like sat on the kid's chest until he died. Sorry, guys. I know that was just like out of the blue, but holy jeez. I mean, some of these people I don't even see how, let me put a trigger warning banner up. I don't see how some people walk on this same planet that me and you do. I don't. So what was I gonna say? Let me get my wits back about me. I just told her, I said, come join us in the live. I don't know if she knows I'm live. All right, so she said headed that way, give me a few. Okay. All right. Cherie says, I'm thinking she was already gone at that point. See, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking either, obviously, she was either gone or passed out, like I said before. I think she was personally gone already. But hey, QB, I was just telling them, is that the thing that you just sent me? Is that the story of the foster mom who sat on the kid? Like, I don't know if she sat on him or laid across his chest or something. I'm thinking that's who that is that you just sent that document about. Just crazy pants, right? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, it's another foster situation. She laid across him, and she was a big woman. She laid across him until he, on purpose. People are sick. I'm telling you. I was just saying, I don't see how some of these people walk on the same planet as me and you. Nope. Lauren said, even when I look at a photo of that guy, it gives me the chills, and that her mother would do something like that. She could tell him to sleep on the couch. Right. Sleep on the couch. Right? Miss King says, I watched something about that poor little 10-year-old boy. Sad. Oh, she was 340 pounds. I knew she was a bigger woman. Don't get me wrong. I'm not body shaming. I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. But big girls do not do that to children on purpose. No. They charged her with reckless homicide. All right. Let me get back over here to this. So I want to. Here we go. This is what I want to share. All right, you guys. I'm going to share the full video here as the source because I want you guys, if you want to see the whole video, hopefully it'll let me post that one. Okay, it did. It let me post that link. Weird. We have this video is the one I want to find where he gets to
a big day in any child's life, celebrating the end of one phase into her life. And for 5 years, the allegations are he is sexually abusing her, recording it, taking pictures.
Okay, we know that, Denny. Let's just get to the, I want to get to the, okay, here we go.
Child. Court TV producer Cody Thomas joining us live tonight from the spot where Madeline Soto's body was discovered in St. Cloud, Florida. Cody, great to see you tonight. So we're returning to the scene. I want you to walk us around.
This is the producer or journalist, or I'm not sure what he's just said he was. But this is the guy that shows us on camera all the movements that Stephan made that day. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Pretty sure that's not a method in any parenting handbook, right? God. So, but this is very interesting. I'm just going to say it's very interesting.
Around there so we really understand it in light of all the new information that we've received.
Of course, Vinny, let me give you a little lay of the land here. As you can see, in either direction on this road, it's pretty rural, it's pretty flat, and as you can see, there's not too many cars coming, so obviously not too busy. Lots of woods, there's even some cows back here behind me over there. But what's important about where we're standing right now, you mentioned that eyewitness seeing Stephan Sterns carrying that tire iron. He was actually right here in this area, changing the tire on.
All right, so this is where Stephan Sterns had pulled off into this gravel to change his tire that day. Okay.
On that silver Lincoln MKZ. Now, how do we know that that eyewitness was correct about seeing Stephan Sterns? Well, according to those court documents that we now have, he was caught on camera back at the dumpster at Venetian Bay, conveniently throwing away a spare tire in that dumpster. So, let's walk across this road to show you a little bit more.
It was actually that guy. It was actually the rando eyewitness that called in and said, I'm not positive, but I think I saw the guy that's on the news or about this guy that I just saw on the news is who I saw. I just saw that guy changing a tire earlier over here on this highway, blah, blah, blah. And that is what broke where they found her. That's what broke it, is that guy calling in about seeing Stephan Sterns changing that tire. And the only reason he saw that, knew that it was him, is because he saw him on the news.
More, but we're going to look both ways to stay safe. Coming across over here, and this is actually the remainder or the continuation of a memorial for Maddie. As you can see, they've left some lockets here. When we were here just a few months ago, back in March, when the story was still very fresh, there was a little more luster to it, but obviously this community still cares. And actually, as I'm reading the sign right here, it says the memorial display is being relocated, new location to be announced. So obviously, members of this community still care about this story. But what's most important, and also probably the most sad part about this, is that off here to my left, in that bamboo thicket among those trees, is actually where her body was eventually found by police. So as you can see, it's very rural, very, very wide open out here, easily accessible by anyone.
Now, Cody, another important part of this was how he got there, right? Is that barbed wire fence that is right behind you now?
It actually is barbed wire fence. And when I was here back in March, there were some ladies out here that were really tapped into the story. And they told me that this is all private property, all private farmland owned by another resident out here. And there's a gate right over here that we can see. And when I was out here, the gate was actually open. And what those ladies told me back then was that that resident that owns this farmland actually has, you know, really big regrets. He feels very sorry that those gates were open that day. Obviously, they're closed now, but that could have been how he got access to get behind this fence back there in that bamboo thicket where her body was found.
So he's on the other side.
Crazy, right? Crazy. You used to live near Venetian Bay, QB?
Side of the street, changing a tire. We believe at that time that Madeline is in the trunk of the car. This, to me, this is a moment where there's a lot of potential vulnerability for Stephan Sterns if what investigators are telling us is true, that he's on the side of the road, he's got a dead child in his trunk, and he's got a flat tire. When you look at this area, I mean, the place where she is put.
Yeah, we can take another look right here down. Look at how wide open it is. You can see anything. I mean, here's some cars coming right now. They can see us standing right here. There's nothing hiding, and it's not too far from the road either, just a few feet, maybe a couple yards. So very wide open, especially in the afternoon where there's plenty of sunshine. Obviously, not too many trees around here. Any cars coming by could have seen him doing what he was doing with Madeline's body that day.
So I guess the question is, which comes first?
And that's broad daylight. And I like what Vinny's getting ready to say now, because this is kind of what made me think, you know, is that where he intended to put her, or did he have to put her there because of the whole flat tire thing?
First, the disposal of the body or the flat tire? And I don't know if we know the answer to that, but if that gate was open, he would have been able to pull his car a little bit closer so he doesn't have to literally carry a body across the street.
That is true, but again, like you said, we don't really have the answer right now. He could have done that because as you see right now, there's no cars coming. And that's when that eyewitness came by and saw him.
Cody, right now I'm just having a little difficulty hearing you, but I'm going to ask you another question because I think you can hear me. I just can't hear you. So if it repeats what you said, my apologies. So the car is on this side, the gate there. As you look at where the question is, does it have to be buried or could a body just be driving back and forth?
Behind me, some of this brush is a little more thick than it was a few months ago when I was here. But say the farmer that owned this land be seen from the road, if maybe you might not recognize that it's a body, but you'd recognize it's something out of place. But what we're seeing right now, it could definitely be hidden behind any of this. So to answer the question, it doesn't have to be buried to be in view.
Once again, Cody, I'll do one more follow-up here in what I'm asking you. So in the time that you've been there, and I'm trying to ascertain how busy this place actually is, Are there cars going back and forth? How far are you from closest home?
Well, Vinny, I do hope you can hear me right now. Hold the microphone just a little bit closer. There's one car coming right now. As we've been standing here for this period of time, there's maybe only been 8 to 10 cars that have come by. Not a very busy road of nowhere. No strip malls. This span of road is probably 6 miles long. We're probably 4 miles down the road right now. No strip malls, no security cameras, no lights even. So when it was dark, or when it gets dark, it'll be pretty much pitch black out here. But not much of anything happening going up and down this road.
And I think the biggest question that may never be answered is why that spot? Was there any connection, or was it just happenstance that you get a flat tire? Oh, I look over here, here's this body, because where you are is miles from where they were living.
That's exactly right. About 20 miles, maybe 40 minutes, definitely out of the way from those Venetian Bay Village complexes. And again, like you said, this is steps for anybody to come by, such as that eyewitness that saw him change.
I don't know why it keeps jumping around. I think it was their connection, because my connection seems to be okay. And I think I remember there being a little bit of issue with this when I was watching it yesterday. But the time of day, this happened around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, broad daylight. I mean, sure, if you're standing where he is, you can see a while. What, QB? What'd she say? I don't know what you're talking about, QB. QB sent me a text and it threw me off. I don't know what you mean by the text that you just sent. Sorry. Anyway, 2 p.m. broad daylight. It's obvious you can see one direction and the other direction pretty clearly if something's coming, but I don't know. It would make more sense to me that he would have pulled there on the side of the road or into that pull off where that gate was at. Oh, a picture. I'm sorry. I didn't see a picture. Hold on. Oh. He's so cute. He's so cute. Can I show him? Can I show him? Let me know if I can show a picture of him. QB. Let me know if I can share a picture of him on here. I'm waiting for her reply. She's not replying. Okay. Also, I remember he said something in this video about, I don't know if we already heard it, but something about the he said earlier about the two women that were following this case pretty oh, it's a her. Okay. Hey, Lisa. Okay. Okay, look, you guys, hold on. Let me. Look. How cute. Look how cute. So cute. If I get it too close, it gets fuzzy. Yeah, Nilla. Like vanilla wafers. All right. So, QB cracks me up. She cracks me up. Or something. She is a baby. She's so sweet. She's so sweet. All right. Yeah. But he was talking about the two ladies, right, that had been following the case pretty hardcore, and apparently they had talked to the person that owns the farmland there, that property. And he had said that he was sick over the fact that he, I guess, had apparently left the gates opened. And so he thinks that him leaving the gates open would have been, like he blamed himself for her body being found there, supposedly, Anyway.
Changing that tire.
It's really interesting to see. Cody, I know you're going to stay with us the whole hour. Cody Thomas live down in Central Florida. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the place where Sterns allegedly removed Madeleine's body from the car and placed it in the trunk. Plus, coming up next.
Yeah, so we're going to go look at that. Here it says on February the 29th, the Orange County Sheriff's Office continued to assist the Kissimmee Police Department by continuing to canvass and search areas Stephan had traveled. A search warrant for Redacted's vehicle was authored and served on February the 29th, 2024. On March 1, Detective Leonard Jones responded to the area of Destination Parkway and John Young Parkway to canvass for evidence. During that time, Detective Jones responded to the Holiday Inn Club Vacations located at 9271 South John Young Parkway, Orlando, Florida. While reviewing the surveillance, Detective Jones observed that at approximately 9:40 hours, I gotta shut my phone off. While reviewing the surveillance, Detective Jones observed that approximately 9:40 hours, the target vehicle, the silver / gray Lincoln MKZ, turned onto the above business property from Emissary Avenue, then proceeded to their parking garage. While in the parking garage, a male wearing a dark hat, red shirt, and tan pants exited the vehicle and opened the trunk. The male then walked to the front passenger side of the vehicle, opened the door, and proceeded to carry what appeared to be a limp body to the trunk of the vehicle. See Detective Jones' supplement for further details. On March 1st, the Kissimmee Police Department issued a bulletin requesting information from the public. In the bulletin, KPD advised Stephan had changed a flat tire in the area of US 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road. Kissimmee Police Department later received a tip stating she had observed a male matching Stephan's description and vehicle change a tire and directed them to the location. Deputies with Osceola County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene and located what appeared to be a female wearing a green sweater and blue jeans in the wooded area. Okay. Do you guys remember whenever we watched the body cam footage? When we watched that body cam footage yesterday, he was saying and she was saying something like she had on a hoodie with white Crocs and dark pants or shorts. She had on a green sweater and blue jeans. It's not what they said. Detective Ilgen and Detective Morris responded to 5680 Hickory Tree Road, Kissimmee, Florida, where they confirmed it was the body of Madeline. All right.
Limp body. Now, Vacations parking garage. What did you find out?
So this is where we're getting ready to see the footage where he's driving to that parking garage where he takes her body out of the passenger seat and puts it into the trunk. And keep an eye out too, because he'll show where the security cameras are located on the top of that parking garage. And also how this was during the day. This was at like 9:30 in the morning. Busy time of the day, people going to work, and there's, I don't know why he would do that in the wide open like that. It makes no sense.
Well, Vinny, interestingly enough, as we pulled up, it was very populated. There was a lot of people that worked there. There was nothing private or hidden about it at all. And there was actually a security guard surveying the parking lot and that parking deck. Take a look. So this is that Holiday Inn Vacation Club's headquarters, where police say Stephan Sterns went the morning that Madeline Soto was found missing. Now, court documents say he pulled into this parking lot and went inside this parking garage right here. We see the parking garage. It's only about 2 levels high. They say he went to the very top, so let's see what that would have looked like for him that morning. Turning into the parking garage right now, obviously plenty of cars here. A lot of people work here, not very discreet at all. This is what the top of this parking deck would have looked like. And as I'm coming up here, one of the first things I noticed right here, security cameras. One on
Very
one side
obvious.
of the pole, on the other side as well.
I mean, very obvious. You know, they're very, very obvious.
I'm looking around. I don't see any more. Oh, I see one over there.
Look at all those windows. Look at that building right there with all those windows. I really feel like whatever happened to her happened unexpectedly, and I think he was just doing everything on a whim. Like, I don't think that this was not planned out, in my opinion, at all. Mm-mm.
There in that corner too, far left corner. And police say in those court documents that at least one of these cameras caught a man looking similar to Stephan Sterns that morning.
You saw all those cars on the bottom in the parking garage. But on that parking deck up there, there's like no vehicles, right? And he has a good explanation for that in a minute. I mean, it makes complete sense.
Parking his car, that silver Lincoln MKZ that we've heard about in this case, getting out, opening the trunk, going to the passenger side seat door, opening that door, and carrying what they worded as a limp body to the trunk of that car around 9:42 a.m. and then leaving just a few minutes after. And Vinny, just to note, that parking garage is only about 10 miles or a 15-minute drive from the Venetian Bay villages where Sterns and Madeline Soto and her mother lived. So not too.
All right. So that short of a distance away. All right. And that's what I want to know. From 7:35, when she's first spotted in the passenger seat, till here at 9:40, that's 2 hours. What's he doing for 2 hours with her in the car? I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think? What? Just driving here, there, yonder? Do you think that he was probably just like shocked and like, oh crap, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know. But 2 hours, that's crazy. Some sleeping on the job that day and totally ignore what was going on outside from the building. I don't know.
Far car around 9:42 a.m. and then leaving just a few minutes after. And Vinny, just to note, that parking garage is only about 10 miles or a 15-minute drive from the Venetian Bay villages where Sterns and Madeline Soto and her mother lived. So not too far away at all.
Couple things strike me, right? So it's Florida, it's hot. You're going to park downstairs, so the upstairs could be relatively empty. But you've got the cameras. I also saw the windows to the offices. If this is 9:40 in the morning, people are at work. I mean, people could have been looking through the window. Again, very risky type of conduct here, allegedly by Stephan Sterns. So he's at that parking garage, 9:42, makes the transfer from the front seat into the trunk. Where does he go next?
So this is where it gets kind of tricky because there becomes a time gap between then and when his car is caught on camera. Again, he says around 11 a.m. that he went to a vape shop. We don't know if that's true or not, but we do know that somewhere around 12:50 that he was caught on the cameras at the back gate at Venetian Bay Villages. And we went back to that gate today to remind you of what that would have looked like. Take a look.
Mm-hmm.
So police know Stephan Sterns left.
Yeah, so here's another stop. This is the back of the complex, right? So let's check this out here.
The parking garage of that bay. That's somewhere around 12:50 that he was caught on the cameras at the back gate at Venetian Bay Villages. And we went back to that gate today to remind you of what that would have looked like. Take a look.
So he goes from there back with her in the car to the Venetian Bay apartment complex. I don't understand his just super random. That's why, because it's so random and because it's so like here, there, everywhere, that's why I feel like he's scrambling. He don't know what to do. I feel like he just don't. He's like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do? What am I going to do next?
So police know Stephan Sterns left the parking garage of that Holiday Inn Vacation Club's headquarters around 9:42 a.m. Then there's a gap where they don't know where he went in that silver Lincoln MKZ. But according to court documents, they do know somewhere around 12:49, 12:50 p.m. he was caught on camera at the back gate of the Venetian Bay Villages where he lived with Madeline Soto and her mother. He was caught on camera leaving his back gate, eventually heading on that route, going to Hickory Tree Road, where he eventually dumped Madeline Soto's body.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Vinny, you know, that's where police say he ended up, after that, took that route out here, drove that extra 35, 40 minutes to end up right here, where we're standing, and right here behind me, where he tossed her body in that bamboo thicket.
So they said something about him going to a vape shop, which, okay. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I remember them saying they talked to the vape shops, but I don't remember if they got any surveillance or not. Hey, Margaret's home. Hi. Hey, Kayleen. Do the phone records show he was talking to anyone? Kayleen, he had allegedly left his phone at home. And Madeline's phone too. So I wonder if he did not intend to kill her, but something went wrong or she fought back. He had no plan. That's what I think. That's what I think, Miss King. Mm-hmm. And I'm also not dismissing the fact that he could have been drugging her, and maybe he gave her too much and accidentally. But if that's the case, I think they would have mentioned that in her like her autopsy stuff, like because there was obvious that I think there was a struggle. I know that they did get some like blood evidence from her body. Oh, good night, Lauren. Good night, Lauren. Have a good night. Get some good sleep. But I feel like she could have been drugged still. I mean, I feel like that there could have potentially been some drugging going on. Because I remember hearing teachers saying that she would sleep a lot during the day at school. So it just kind of makes me think that. And of course, toxicology will tell us, right, if she had anything in her system. But I do feel like whatever happened to her was not intentional. Like, when I say intentional, he killed her, right? Hardcore killed her. But I don't think that it was his plan. And I think something went wrong, right? And he's just driving all over Kissimmee, Florida, trying to figure out what he's going to do next.
And that timing seems to work when you start putting it together to leave from the subdivision, from the complex, back out to St. Cloud where you are. So how long do we think Madeline was in that trunk?
So, Vinny, this is where it gets even more complicated. So, of course, we know that police say he placed Madeline's body in the passenger seat around 7:35 a.m. And we also know, according to those documents, that he brought that limp body from the passenger seat at the top of that parking garage to the trunk around 9:40. Now, when the next intersection camera picks him up turning on this road, on Hickory Tree Road, that is around 1:20. And Vinny, I'm not the best at math, but from 9:40 to 1:20, that's almost 4 hours. So she was in there for a very, very long time.
Once again, in the Florida heat, it gets warm down there. I live down there. It gets very warm. I know you live in Florida as well. All right, Cody's going to stay with us. We have more to ask, but let's bring in our think tank right now. Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney Eklund Mercy. Also joining us, criminal defense attorney and the attorney who represented.
All right, let me zoom past some of this because I feel like there was some more. Here's a picture of his car. Here's a picture of his car.
Hug me, hold.
Now, this was after he had already dumped Madeline, because you see the spare tire here on his car on that back driver's side. But then I want to get to the spot where he talks about the other vehicle. Okay, here, let me see. This might be getting into it here.
Round. Let me show you. February 26th at 10:04, Stearns is seen on body cam showing police where he says he dropped Madeline off. But then you go later that night into the early morning hours, 3:16, Jen Soto's white Nissan is pinged on a license plate reader. The report stated it took the same path as Stearns the previous day. 3:35, the vehicle enters the dump site where Madeline's body was found. 4:09, the license plate is pinged on the way back home. And then at 4:30, the white Nissan, again, that is registered to Jennifer Soto, arrives back at the complex. Let's go back out.
So, and then he says in an interview, he says, when asked, did you or Jennifer leave at all? Like, did you go to search? And he's like, oh, yeah, we searched. And she's like, well, where did you drive to? And he says, well, we didn't drive anywhere. Not that I can recall. And then she says, you didn't drive anywhere that night? And he says, I don't recall. I'll have to ask. You'll have to ask Jen, because I was so upset about what had happened that I'd knocked myself out with some sleep medicine. Okay. Tell your mom, Margaret, happy 45th birthday. I agree, Patricia. Yeah. I thought about that too. She was either not sleeping because of what was going on at home, or she was still out of it from being drugged, one or the other. Kayleen says, okay, wait, just thinking, she's in the trunk. He gets a flat. He's got to move the body to change the flat, right? Well, yeah, he we don't know yet if we don't know yet if he changed the tire first or dumped her body first. It all happened right there in the same time. So it's very possible that he was like, well, shoot, I've got to change this flat tire, and Maddie's laying on top of the spare. So let me go ahead and just dump her here, change my tire, and then, this is as good a place as any, I guess. So you're very right in that aspect. Yeah. Margaret, you're not the only one. Other people have said that, but I'm just wondering because the tire, I just spit. Did you guys see that? Like, the tire was, now I want to go back and see if you can see that big spit wad come out of my mouth. If that tire that they found in the dumpster, because they said that there was a tire in the dumpster in at the apartment complex. So is there anything wrong with that tire? You know what I mean? I don't know.
To Cody Thomas, our report, I see it's getting dark there, which is appropriate right now because we're talking about not just one trip, but two trips, and the second one is in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Remember, they always say that the killer goes back, to the scene of the crime. And like I said yesterday, the scene of the crime wasn't where her body's dumped. The scene of the crime was prior to leaving that apartment. But, remember too, in the, we hear it all the time, but think, like, for those of you that follow the Idaho 4 case, Brian Koberger and the Idaho college kids, if Brian Koberger is the actual murderer in that case, which I believe he is, but do we remember hearing that supposedly the next morning he drives back by the kid's house? His phone is shown pinging there. I think it actually connects to their Wi-Fi, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong on that, but
Yeah, you see it. The sun is definitely going down here, Vinny, and we actually recreated some of that drive today. One of the main roads mentioned in those documents is this 13th Street. It's this big freeway down here that a lot of the side roads crossed over and intersected, and it's also where a lot of those intersection cameras caught those two cars coming out here that night on Hickory Tree Road. Take a look at this drive. We are here in St. Cloud, Florida right now, about 30 to 35 minutes away from those Venetian Bay villages where Stephan Sterns, Madeline Soto, and her mother lived. This is 13th Street. This is actually one of the roads mentioned in those court documents, going through a bunch of intersections with cameras, which is how police say they tracked his silver Lincoln MKZ out to this area. 13th Street, we've crossed over Old Canoe Creek Road, Neptune Road, but in lots of these intersections, as you look at them as we go under one, we're about to go under one right now, there's cameras at all four sides. So it wasn't a hard lift for police to track him out to this area, again, 30, 35 minutes away. But the key here is
we'll have to keep an eye out, because I just saw on Twitter that the Black Swan gal, Ashley Benefield, has filed an emergency motion for continuance for at least 60 days. Her trial was supposed to start Tuesday coming up. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. Don't know what the judge will do, if they'll continue it or if they will go ahead with it. Just a heads up.
Of course, they tracked that silver Lincoln MKZ out here using these intersections. There's another car, a small Toyota registered to Jen Soto, Madeline Soto's mother, that came back out here around 3:30 a.m. We don't know who was driving. We don't know if Stephan was behind the wheel. We don't know if Jen Soto was behind the wheel or both. But it was out here going the same exact route. The only difference is Sterns' car left from the back gate of Venetian Bay. The Toyota left from the front gate. So the first few streets that the cars are tracked on are a little bit different. But as you look at those court documents, once they get out here at the intersection of Old Canoe Creek Road and 13th Street, everything lines up the same. Sterns was out here around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:08, 1:15-ish, before getting to Hickory Tree Road, where Madeline Soto's body was eventually found. But that small Toyota was out here around 3:30 in the morning and didn't return back to Venetian Bay or in that area until after 4 a.m. So, we don't know who's behind the wheel, but up for speculation once that trial begins.
It would make complete sense for him to be the one to, I was thinking about it and I'm like, would Jen go out there? Would Jen drive out there but because he took the same path, or because the same path was taken, and you can see on the screen, it's several miles away. It's like, I think they said 17 to 20 miles away or something like that. They have proof through those different intersections that it was her car. But if he has a donut on his car, would he want to drive that many miles out? You know? So it makes sense for him to want to drive her car. Yeah, I don't know. Hi, Steph. Are you back? So it was her car that was being tracked. Yeah, the second one is her car. Yeah. Yep.
And Vinny, I think I did misspeak in that it was actually a Nissan, not a Toyota. But just to remind you that we are out here at this location about 40 minutes away from where they live in Venetian Bay, which definitely is out of the way, especially after 3 a.m.
Now, another part of Stephan Sterns' story, getting to that.
Listen to this.
They asked him if he went anywhere that night, right? Like the night of the drive that the Nissan's taken.
Mm-hmm.
Vinny, you're absolutely right. But Sterns claims that he never left the house that night. Take a listen to this.
Well, he didn't say that he didn't leave the house. He said he doesn't recall leaving the house.
Did you and your wife, when you guys were looking for where did you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
She asks, you can hear her say, is that media? And he says, yeah, I think it's Fox so-and-so. And she says something, but then he continues talking and saying, I don't recall leaving. You'll have to ask Jen, because I'd taken an Ambien. But you can hear the interviewer talking to someone else, and I feel like he is continuing to talk to like the cameraman or something. I don't know, but
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something was coming.
Let me tell him to where?
I don't think.
I'm gonna start it over. You guys know I'm a serial rewinder. I'm gonna rewind it and start this interview section over again.
He never left the house that night. Take a listen to this.
Did you and your wife, when you guys were looking for, where did you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
Did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something was coming.
Let me tell him to
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Okay.
It was a wreck.
And of course, Vinny, knowing what we know now, we know that absolutely was not the truth.
Right. Someone from that house is in that Nissan. It's either him or her or both.
Now, like I said, I don't think it was just her. I think it was him. But I'm not discounting that she could have been with him. I mean, I don't know what Jen's involvement is, if there is any involvement, but I feel like. No, he said Ativan. I thought he said Ambien, but he said Ativan.
Another part of his story, getting to his story, and he mentioned this a lot, and when he says he was driving Madeline to school, that they were going to go to McDonald's, that they're going to stop at this McDonald's, and he keeps harping on it, the McDonald's, that's why we're leaving early.
I don't know what about the McDonald's, Miss King. If you're still here, what are your thoughts on the McDonald's thing? I remember hearing specifically, yeah, it's Claritin, non-drowsy, right? But he said Ativan. But the McDonald's thing. Like I've heard in different interviews that he or Jen say, oh, he was going to take her to McDonald's for a special breakfast. Because, you know, it was she had just had her 13th birthday. The party was the night before. And, but then he's like, last minute, she changes her mind. He's like, last minute, Madeline changes her mind. She doesn't want McDonald's. So they just leave, go past there. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if maybe he was thinking, oh, well, you know, breakfast before school, that'll prove that I was taking her to school, and my car will be seen on the video, right? So if I say, oh, well, we were going to go have breakfast, then that'll make sense. But why you're going to see my car at McDonald's? Because, yeah, I mean, and if I say I'm taking her to McDonald's, then that'll prove that I was true, that I was not lying, and that I'm taking her to school afterwards. But yeah, the school situation, he didn't drop her off till 8, supposedly drop her off till 8:40 at school, is what he told the cops. But their school starts late. I think their first bell is like 9:40 a.m., which is, I don't know of any school that starts that late, but apparently they do. I don't know. She said, Steph said, I think it was just to explain them leaving earlier than they needed to. Miss King says, I'm not sure about the McDonald's. I think that is to cover why he left the house so early since school was later. I agree with Miss King. They left way earlier than necessary, and it explains why they left so early because he kept talking about killing time. So he had to come up with something that wouldn't show. Right. Right. Very good.
Did you come across that McDonald's?
Well, yeah, I did. I found that McDonald's today, Vinny. Of course, at that given moment in time, before knowing what we know now, it became a battle of his story versus the police's story. But I did find that McDonald's, and it actually wasn't too far away from Hunters Creek Middle School, where she was supposed to be that morning. So Stern's story to police was that morning that Madeline Soto went missing. He says they got up early to go to McDonald's. They left. Madeline had already eaten a bagel or a biscuit or something of the sort. She wasn't hungry. She didn't want McDonald's. They ended up going back to the house early before he says he eventually took her to school. Now, we now know that's not true. And this McDonald's is on Town Loop Road. It's only about 10 to 12 minutes from Venetian Bay where they lived. And actually on the drive over here, we passed Hunters Creek Middle School where Madeline Soto was supposed to be that day. And we also passed Peace United Methodist Church where Sterns says he dropped her off in order to walk to school that morning. Again, we now know that's not true. We now know that Sterns was actually on a different route, headed out to Hickory Tree Road in St. Cloud where Madeline Soto's body was eventually found. And again, Vinny, that was yet another untruthful story told by Stephan Sterns, and there could be many more to come as this case continues to develop.
All right, so just a real quick question. It's really dark behind you right now. They were there, and it's just past sunset. They were there at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no street lights or anything, right? It's just complete darkness?
Absolutely no street lights. In fact, if we turn this light off in front of me, you wouldn't be able to see a thing out here on this road.
All right, can you turn it off? Turn it off for a second, just so we can see how dark it really is. Cut the light.
1 second.
Yep, yeah, okay. That tells the story.
Where'd I go?
You're gone. Cody Thomas in St. Cloud for us tonight. Thanks so much, Cody. Great reporting, as always. Let's bring back in our think tank, Eklund Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, Neil.
I think that was the last of what was in this video that I wanted to show. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. Yeah, okay, that's it. Oh, hey, Barbecue's back. Barbecue's back. So, as far as the car at McDonald's, I thought, was there no surveillance? I thought there was surveillance at McDonald's. But I guess maybe not. I don't know. But wow. I wonder what their status hearing is going to be about come October. And who knows when the actual trial is going to be if they don't, have it sooner or as soon as they anticipated. QB says, I have to do some deep dive into this case. I don't know enough to make an educated guess. I'm still trying to fit the Venetian Bay Kissimmee thing together. He never actually went. I'm sure he knew they would check the cams, which is why the story about not going at the last minute. Yeah, that's true. I did hear somebody say too, a lot of people talk about when they do her autopsy, if there's any, bagel. Because he had said that about her having that bagel. Steph said, I think he was seen on traffic cams on that road, though, and then turned around and got on the highway. Well, eventually we'll find out what his, what the whole path was. QB said, I just wonder if the possibility of him being seen was like a high for him. I don't know. I feel like it was all I don't know. I feel like it was really all sort of like up in the air, and he's just like, oh my God, just scrambling. Because on the top of that, that parking garage deck, that building was right there with all those windows, and this was 9:30 in the morning. And security cameras right there. I mean, of all places, why would you go there to transfer her from the passenger seat to the trunk? That's a very big theory, Steph, and I'm not dismissing that one either. I'm not dismissing that theory at all. I've thought about that. I've actually thought about that. Yep. I've thought about that, and he's done it. He's dumped her for Jen because Jen's like, if you don't do something with her, then I'm going to go to the police with all these pictures. Seriously thought about that. He said he gave her a granola bar or a cereal bar or something after she said she didn't want McDonald's, but we already know she was gone. Yeah, didn't he say something like whenever she got out of the car to go, when he dropped her off near the school, that he offered her the granola bar or something? She would tell his secret. I've thought about that. I have. And the thing is, that's kind of one thing that I'm wondering if that's what his mom was alluding to in that email exchange between them. Right, Miss King. Right. Maybe that's is what his mom was talking about in those emails. Yep. I'm kind of wondering if that's not what he's oh yeah, Steph, that was yesterday. Yeah. The emails were yesterday. Yeah, the mom basically blames Jen or says, words to that effect. But that would be a the only thing is about that is I think in that big document dump, there was the forensic DNA stuff. But I'm just not sure. Like if it was Jen that did it, then it would be Jen's DNA that would be under her nails. Because I feel like I read that there was blood that was found under Maddie's right fingernail clippings. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. I need to go back and look at that really good. Or at least maybe that's what he told his parents, that Jen did it. Yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if they're not pointing the finger at each other, because we haven't seen or heard anything out of Jen. There have been no charges, no nothing. So it just makes me wonder if she's talking, and if the cops are keeping that under wraps in case they're working out some sort of plea deal or something, which God help us if that's the case. Like I said, we don't need another Kayla Montgomery. Steph says, because I didn't know about that, but I feel like Jen is more involved than we know. I need to know more about these roommates and why, and the whole numbered door thing. Like, I need to know more about that. Miss King says, or at least maybe that is what. Okay, I read that part. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. I need to know more about that, the roommates, and because from what I remember hearing was that how many bedrooms were in that apartment? I do remember hearing something too about Steph. The thing with that is I wouldn't mind too, but a lot of those documents is stuff. Oof. I don't know if I could read. I definitely wouldn't read it here out loud. As far as the essay stuff goes, I don't even want to talk about that. But I do remember in the documents them saying something about Stephan having like a makeshift bedroom in the living room or something. And now it would kind of make sense if it is true about renting rooms. Because Steph, I don't know if you were here earlier, but Miss King said, because I remember hearing that Stephan and Jen had roommates. But Miss King said she heard, not Steph, Stephan. Right. I'm sorry, Steph. I'm sorry. But Miss King said she heard that Jen ran like an Airbnb in her apartment and rented rooms because they're close to Disneyland. So we're going to need to do a group reading of these documents, I think. I haven't even looked at them. Miss King says, I think with the numbered doors, you would rent room 4 or 3, something like that. Well, I just remember hearing too, or reading or something, where that night when Jen was like, you need to go sleep in the bed together because I need to get I need to get a good night's sleep and I want to be left alone. She had specifically told them to go sleep in room 2 or whatever. But if there were roommates, I don't know though. If it's an Airbnb, you can't really call them roommates, right? I mean, they would be like renters or guests. I don't know. Anyway, roommate sounds like they're friends. You know what I mean? But if something was going on in that house as often as it was, would they do that right under the nose of strangers that are there all the time? Steph said, I heard about that too, but I wasn't here yet. I thought there wasn't anyone else staying at the time. Maybe there wasn't. Maybe there wasn't. But that just blows me away. Blows me away. And what kind of creepers would you have in that house with her? Ew. I don't know. That's just crazy. Now I want to like do an even deeper dive and like look at the like a virtual walkthrough of those apartments. Steph said, I think it was like an Airbnb, like Miss King said. They just didn't have any guests renting a room at the time. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to have to get my hands on those documents, ain't I? Because the only things that I've looked at specifically were, but Steph, that document is like 800 or 900 pages long or something, I think. It would be interesting to do a walkthrough, right? Trying to pry press-ons off way early because they get all scratched and ruined. I'm struggling. Oh, I hate that. But yeah, I need to get my hands on that document and yeah, definitely skip around the graphic stuff. Divvy up sections, maybe highlight what we want to discuss. It's a good idea. That is a good idea. I want to talk about some of the essay stuff, I don't want to talk about the graphic stuff. I don't want to, right? Some of it I feel like would be doing Madeline Soto and her memory a disservice if we didn't share part of it. Because that 13-year-old girl, basically 12, because she had literally just turned 13. What she went through for like 5 or 6 years, you know, was definitely awful. But if we do go through that and we start talking about it, I'll definitely link the document. I mean, so that you guys can read it yourself too. Steph said, I mean, there were thousands of photos of the abuse dating back to when she was 8. I think that alone speaks volumes. Right. I just don't want to talk about the acts themselves. You know what I mean? I just don't want people to think that it was, I don't even know what, like light petting. compared to what she actually went through, but because it was a lot. And the fact that, some people might come into the story hearing about the murder trial, but not realizing that there was this massive essay aspect to it prior. I mean, most people know, but people that have never heard about it before come in and they just know that a trial is going on and that this girl has died. They may not have any idea that all of the sexual abuse was going on. So, but anyway, it's the weekend. I'll find that document. I'll find the document. Me and the girls will discuss it maybe over the weekend. QB has another big document. What was that document? I think that was the document for the Black Swan, Ashley Benefield. Yeah. I think it was her big document for the motion to dismiss. I'm pretty sure. But if they end up putting that off, because I don't know when the judge will make a ruling on that. But apparently, if you didn't already hear, I mentioned it earlier, that says Ashley Benefield has filed an emergency motion for continuance for at least 60 days. QB, did you know that? That happened earlier, a while ago. Supposed to have started 22nd, or at least jury selection. But I don't know. It just said, all I saw was says she's filed for an emergency motion for continuance for at least 60 days. If she put the document in, I'm sure she knows Jennifer. Oh, Lord have mercy. Doubtful stay was denied, and continuance is due to the judge. Unlikely. Ms. King says, exactly, there's a way to go about it respectfully, and it all goes together. The things she endured and the fact that she should have been protected by her mother, right? Yeah, I just don't think that I mean, I know me personally, there's no way that I could read those things out. I mean, vaguely stating them is one thing. I can handle that, but not like reading all of that. No. Nope. I don't know, but we're going to keep our eyes peeled on this coming week. I want to find out what's going to go on with that trial if it happens, and then if not, we'll go ahead and just jump straight on into Stephan Sterns. Yeah, I know, Steph. I don't know that I don't. Just reading it on my own, I think is going to be really difficult. So. I don't know. Nightbot always comes in at the perfect time, right? Trigger warning. Trigger warning. I'm tired, you guys. It has been a long week. I'm going to go in there and hang out with the family. We have this weekend, and then he goes back to work. He goes back to work on Monday. And then things will start actually gearing down a little bit because school will be starting next, the 1st of August. The first part of August. So we'll be working on another new schedule. So I hope that you guys are as flexible as you can be. I know you've been flexible this week with me because we've been doing these later evening streams. But yeah, when school starts back, I'll not only have one going, because I'm continuing Eli into the after graduation option there at the school. So he'll be going back, but he'll just be going a couple days a week. Little kiddo will be starting school. And yeah, so we'll have to figure out what that schedule for her is going to be. And so hopefully you guys will be super flexible and grace giving while I'm working through that. And you're probably going to have to hold my hand. You're probably going to have to hold my hand and wipe my tears. Send me lots of Kleenexes, QB, because I don't know how I'm going to deal. I don't know how I'm going to deal when she goes. Thinking about it makes me a little bit oof. A little sick at my stomach. Yeah, Margaret, she's going. But I'm going to want to make sandwiches and snacks, Steph. I'm going to want to. I'm going to want to. No, Steph, no. Time for Poppy to get a sibling. No. 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 Can't handle two of them. Or as I say, kindergarten. Kindergarten. You guys. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I told husband I would only be in here for a couple hours. So at the time I was preparing for that trial to start next week, and I knew that we were going to be doing longer days back to back for a week or two. But like I said, if I don't know what's going to go on with that, I don't know what's going to go on with that. And so that's the one thing about having a true crime kind of channel. And you really have to be flexible with your content because things change in the blink of an eye, right? QB said, I'm reading the motion now. I don't see it getting approved. So you think they'll continue or not continue, but go? Why do they call it continue when they're not continuing? They always do everything so backwards. Also, like when they have in-camera meetings, that doesn't mean in front of the camera. That means in the judge's chambers. Why do they call them in-camera meetings then if they're in the judge's chambers and we don't get to see it? What? That makes no sense. Love yins. That means no public. I know, but it's dumb. It's dumb. They should say no camera meetings. We're having a no camera meeting. You know what I mean? And the trial is continued. Well, the trial being continued means put off. When anybody else in normal circumstances would hear the trial is continued, that means it's going to continue and go on as it's supposed to. But no, that's not what it means. They're backwards, boys. Everybody in the whole law, they're backwards. It doesn't make sense. I know. It's crazy, right, QB? I think that we need to here. Where's Gail? Where's Gail when you need Gail? We need to we need to make changes to the law, you guys. QB says, in this case, they call child custody agreements time sharing. Time sharing is what you do in Florida when you go on vacation, but not at Jen Soto's house. We don't go on vacation to Jen Soto's house. That's a no-no. That's what they call weekly hotel rentals, dang it. Right, Steph? Jeez Louise. It's a no for me, dog. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know, right? Kel, I'm playing whack-a-mole. Whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole, whack-a-mole. This is my gavel that Gail sent me. It's my Gail gavel. I like my Gail gavel. They renting a baby now, right? All right, I'm going to go for real now, though. Say that 5 times fast. What the whack-a-mole? Whack-a-mole, 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 whack-a-mole. But join me next week. Gail gavel, 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 Gail gavel. There we go. Where is Gail, by the way? We need you, Gail. Come back. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Here. Gail, come back. You can blame it all on me. All right. I'm going to scooch. And I'll see you guys back on Monday. Okay. And if you're watching on the replay, thanks. I hope you've hung out with us the whole time. And if you have hung out with us the whole time, all of a sudden Jenny's brain's rebooted and the ADHD aired out. When you get all serious, I'm really good at compartmentalizing those things, I guess. It's like, okay, let's put all the serious stuff over here in this little drawer and shut that drawer. Now it's, ha funny stuff. So. But if you're watching on the replay, please put a hashtag replay in the comment section down below. And please give the video a thumbs up. We love it. You guys, we're getting close to 500. I'm at what? What is it now? I mean, I looked a while ago. What is it? 467. We're at 467. Yeah, 467. Tell your friends, said QB. QB said, tell your friends. Tell your friends. Tell your mom and them. Yeah. Tell your mom and them. But yeah, subscribe. And if you did subscribe, make sure to click that bell so you get notified, right? All the time. We go live every day through the week. Usually not on the weekends. Every once in a while, I'll randomly do a random stream on the weekend. And I know Leslie Jordan, I love him so much. And so yeah, if your notifications are broken, one trick is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe and click the bell again. Hopefully that'll work. It's kind of like when your TV quits working and you like kick it real hard. You know? Oh, Steph, ma'am, we'll have to talk before you head out, before you leave. But yeah. Spence says, I'm your notification, QB. Apparently they're holding Wade Wilson's sentencing off too. I haven't been keeping up with that at all, but judge ruled on Friday the decision of life or death for Wade Wilson will be on August 27th. Yeah, Steph, sure. We'll have to do a quick call. Yes, honey, thank you, and I love you. It was so good to see you today. I hope that we didn't interrupt your racing. Well, your racing stuff is probably over with, though, right? Right. Oh, group's good. All right, I'll see you guys later, though. I love you all. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And, yeah, stay safe.